you?
Your face, hold on, your face on this side of Thomas. No, done it. Look. Now, they're fixing the bottom of the boat. So it's called a dry dock. See that? Crazy, huh? It's a big boat there.
It's huge.
Come, you're like a street magician now. You've got to do this and say, look here, I'm making a knot on this thing, and there you are. Hey, Broads, what are those? What are those? Seals.
We actually saw them here before, my mom and me.
Oh, yeah?
But we were under there.
Did you talk to them?
Oh, look.
What is that?
Plastic.
Oh, plastic bags. Yeah.
What they put that there to teach us not to throw rubbish in the sea. And if you cannot use plastic for anything, rather use something else. Look, right?
I was good. I was smiling nicely.
Look at the snot coming out. Right? Oh, Grandpa wants to sneeze.
Why did my face like this?
It's like a dog with a wetsuit on.
Is that Do you like it?
It's like a dog with a wetsuit. Broads? Is this like
Stink,
a...
bros?
Is this like... Does this pong? Does this pong? Stink? Does it stink?
I'm so mad with that seal right now. I want to throw this whole thing at him.
No, don't throw your snot at him.
Listen. Stop taking photos.
Aquarium works, but I just wanted to introduce you a little bit to what the aquarium's about. So it's a two oceans aquarium because it represents both of our oceans. We have the warm Agulhas current on our east coast, which is seen nicely in a lot of our tropical fish, coral reefs, and the beautiful, colourful diversity along there. And then our wall behind us here, which is more west coast, south coast beauty and diversity, colder, more silvery fish. And between those, we have an incredible diversity of wildlife along our coastline. Really beautiful. And we try and really show that off as best we can. So if you follow me, we can...
Now you get to see how it all works.
Jellyfish active here. Very cool jellyfish. These are called catastylus, and they're quite new to the aquarium. So we went and collected them actually only last week. They were found in Pittenberg Bay, and we went up and we got some of them, and they have been put on display as well. So these are very cool. They're in the blue blubber family.
Check it. Looks like that magic thing I gave you. Right?
I know.
Hey, you see?
I knew that the whole time.
So the aquarium gets its water from the harbour, which is great because we have the ocean right here, so it's nice to be able to use that. But the harbour water is a bit dirty. So we have to filter all the water that comes into the aquarium. We have big intake pumps that are at the clock tower that pulls the water in. That gets cleaned every 6 weeks to make sure that that's constantly working well. Once it's been come through, it goes through an initial filtering system, sand filters on our roof, and then gets brought down here. So basically it's running in the channel all the way along underground, where it then gets split up to whichever area of the aquarium it's going to be used, where it gets filtered again and heated or cooled, depending on which tank. 8 quarters. And I'm sure you can imagine that water is pretty important for us at the aquarium. And there's lots of different animals here that all have different requirements. Some of the water needs to be cooled down to like 11, 12 degrees for the spider crabs, for example. Other tanks need to be heated up to 28 degrees. All the water needs to have a good amount of air and oxygen that's flowing through it. It needs to be at the right salinity. There's a whole lot of different things that need to always be in tune. And we keep track of all of that by having it all on a bit of an alarm system. So everything is set to a specific set of limits, and that changes for each area and display. And if anything goes out of those limits, an alarm goes off. So it's not unlikely that we'll hear some nice background music of alarms as we go through. And that's what that is for. An old school map of what the aquarium layout is. So these are the intake pumps at the clock tower where the water comes from. It gets filtered once here in our top tank, and then it gets split up to the predator tank, to the kelp forest, which is shut down now for maintenance, and then for the rest of the aquarium. So often a red light will be flashing if that's an area where there's a problem. So the aquarium has the ability to run on closed system for 10 days. So the biggest problem is if we don't have water. If for some reason our filters are breaking or there's something that's gone wrong and we're not able to bring fresh water in which case we have the contingency plan that we're able to run by ourselves for 10 days. Hopefully within that time we'd be able to fix whatever problems there are. Otherwise we need to go and physically collect water to bring in. All the animals you see on display, all the plants you see on display have been collected. We have permits that allow us to collect anything we need, and we also help release a lot of the animals that we have on display. The plants, for example, all the algae you see is rotated about every 10 days to 2 weeks. So we're constantly going out False Bay, Table Bay, up the East Coast, collect anything we need. We have a good relationship with the Shark Marine World in Durban, so a lot of the tropical things that we have on display, they send us, we'll go and collect from them, and we'll send them stuff for their displays as well. Our collection team is also responsible for some of the large animals we have. So when we got the sharks, they went up to East London for 3 months and fished for all our sharks. And when we release animals, they're also largely responsible for that.
Do the other aquariums come up here for their great whites?
So the only aquarium that's ever had great whites is Monterey Bay.
Is it so?
Yeah, and they have had them successfully for a few months at a time, but never for longer than a couple of months. So
Why? What has happened?
great whites are very large predatory animals that need a lot of space to swim and that grow very quickly. So unless the space that you have available is massive, they're very tricky animals to keep in captivity.
How big do you think the space should be?
The ocean.
Yeah, there are some animals that are ocean travelers and that need that amount of space. This is one of our boats we use for collections, and we go out regularly, especially to collect kelp or larger things. We also have a smaller boat that's in the harbour that's used for seal patrol. We have a lot of seals in the harbour. Often they're entangled with sort of box bands or fishing gear, so we'll go and sort of free them, and we'll also monitor and just keep a record of what's going on in those with the seals that are in the harbour. So we have a smaller boat that we use to patrol there. This is because we want to foster and inspire people, foster a love and inspire people to fall in love with the oceans and then to protect it, and that happens through education. So we have over 70,000 school children a year that come through our education program. We have a group of about 10 teachers that sort of give marine lessons on all sorts of different topics. Kids get to interact with the animals, they get to run around the aquarium, they get to dissect fish, go on sort of little field trips. It's amazing. We also run a marine academy, so anywhere between grade 6 and matric, you can come and every year do a young biologist course or a marine discovery course, and a lot of kids really enjoy that. And that also offers the potential to volunteer and to get scholarships. And I started out doing the young biologist course, so quite a few of us who are now employed here started out as young biologists. So all the animals on display need food. Some need large amounts of food 3 times a day, other need small amounts of food every 2 days or every 7 days or whatever it is. But we know all of them, we know who needs what when, and it gets prepared by our restaurant team basically. So some of our food gets sponsored by I&J, we get pilchard and squid from them, some of it we buy in and some of it we collect.
We're going higher and higher. I was thinking that we're looking into the tanks.
Everyone has to solid phase. I was thinking like squid for a good month of their life before they're doing. So we have an animal health team at the aquarium. We talked about how water quality and making sure that that water is really good, like quality is very important for the animals, as well as the food, making sure they have the right food. But then also you need to be able to give them the right medical care. And we have a team of people who are very skilled and have a lot of experience with animal health and marine animal health who do that. We have a vet as well. He's not on site all the time, but he consults for us all the time. And we do a lot of work with our penguins. We do a lot of research as well with them, with their bloods and stuff. A lot of work with our turtles. So I run our turtle rescue rehab release program. That's my role here at the aquarium. And all the turtles we get by definition are rescued and therefore sick, in need of a lot of care. And a lot of that requires us doing x-rays, us doing ultrasounds, operations, injections, all sorts of different treatments. Microscope work, all sorts of different things. So that is based out of the space here. Over there you can see some of the x-rays we've taken in the last couple of years. That's a turtle on the top left. That space they've got in the middle, that little clump, that's called compaction. So that's basically really bad constipation that the turtle had from shutting down its body because it was floating in the sea and just trying to survive. And that, when left for a long time, can get very concrete and cause other infections and very difficult, if not impossible, for them to pass. And then quite a few turtles die from compaction. Below that is an x-ray of a shark that had swallowed 2 hooks. And then next to that is an eel. And check out that, just behind the mouth of the eel, you can see its second jaw. So an eel has 2 jaws, which is pretty cool, so that it can take the food and can send it down to the second jaw. Yeah. And then up here is a penguin. I also love the penguin x-ray because they've got these amazing legs which really explain why they waddle. They've got those right angles. And this is a horsefish. Go and look for a horsefish downstairs on display, but they're very cool as well. So we're constantly developing and growing in our understanding of marine medicine, and it's one of the things we're also wanting to develop. We have a lot of opportunity here to do that, and so we try and make the most of it.
Do you have a lot of issues with plastic?
Huge amounts of issues with plastic, specifically with our turtles. So turtles are amazing indicators of what the ocean state is, because every year we have turtle hatchlings that wash up on our beaches. They nest, large populations of female loggerheads nest on our far northeast coastline, KwaZulu-Natal, Mozambique kind of area. At the beginning of the year, the little hatchlings go to sea. They catch the warm current down the coast, and they get spat out here in the southern waters where it's cold. They're dehydrated, they're injured, they've really had a rough time. But they're only 2 months old, and then they wash up on our beaches. People rescue them, bring them to us, and we rehabilitate and release them. Now these turtles who've only been at sea for a couple of months often poo out just so many microplastics. It's crazy. Some of our bigger turtles also had big plastic issues, and oftentimes they can pass the plastic and the plastic itself can go through them, but very often the plastic is quite hard and it will perforate their gut lining, causing secondary infections or adjust their buoyancy. And so sometimes it's not just the fact that they get clogged up by plastic, but more so all the other things that come from that. And therefore that's why I work in conservation here at the aquarium. Turtles are amazing ambassadors for our oceans and for looking after the oceans. So you mean south-north, or you mean depth?
South-north.
So
How deep do they have to go? They don't swim on the surface of the sea from Durban down to here.
Oh, the hatchlings?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the hatchlings get pulled by the current, so they literally just float. Yeah, within the first few meters of the sea. So
Like the story of Nemo, hey?
Yeah. So that's also a current, but they literally just ride. They're this big. They cannot withstand or swim against any kind of current. So
They're
just
going
float.
with the Mozambique current, basically.
Yeah. And it's warm and beautiful for them initially, but then as the current sort of comes to the south, it slows down. It turns around the current, it kind of goes back, but as it slows down, they kind of get spat into our fabulous cold Atlantic Ocean down here, which is then they go into cold shock, where they literally just go freeze up. And that, in combination with not having had access to food very often, or being injured by fish or birds or other things, means that we have anywhere from 20 to 200 hatchlings a season that come into our rehab. And that's just us. And we only take turtles from Plettenberg Bay southwards. So there's more that sort of wash up and go taken to Baywold, and not so much in Durban, because they kind of are catching the current down. And even up the west coast, after a storm like is supposed to be approaching today, we'll get a lot of turtles coming in up the west coast, Lambert's Bay, Lungabar, and that kind of. We have a rescue network of people, so we've established 10 rescue network points along our coastline between here and Plettenberg Bay, which are conservation organizations or sandpark kind of affiliations, some different places that are equipped and understand how to look after hatchling turtles. And they've done a lot of advertising in their area to tell people what to do when you find a turtle. So most of the time we'll get a call because someone's found a turtle somewhere, and then we'll use our network of people along the coast to help get that turtle to us as quickly as possible. We don't have the vehicles or the manpower yet to go and respond to each one ourselves. So we're quite reliant on partnerships with other places, other organizations, just members of the public who are passionate, who find the turtles to bring them to us. Yeah.
Do you know how long the migration is southwards from KZN southwards? How long do they on average take to get here? What time of the year, and what do they eat on voyage?
So it's not really a migration. It's more a case of hatchlings. They just go to sea.
Yeah.
Where at sea they go. The first 10 years of their life, we don't actually know much about what they do. So they just kind of cruise around in the ocean currents and try to survive. Only 1 to 2 in every 1,000 do survive. So they literally
The water tells them where they're going.
The water tells them where they go. Most of them won't make it, and then a couple lucky ones do. These are ragged tooth sharks, and this is our predator display. It's like a donut, so it kind of goes around in a circle, and in the central space is a big rock that we can use to swim out of when we feed. And yeah, we keep ragged tooth sharks because they're common on our coastline. They're really nice sharks. They're quite chilled compared to other shark species, so they're nice to keep. And they breathe slightly differently, so they don't need as much ventilation across their gills. They can swim more slowly. They don't need as much space, so they're good to keep in captivity. Even so, we will release them after a couple of years. So no turtle, no shark is here for more than a few years.
Rhodes. Okay, now tell me, where are you at this very, very moment? You're now talking to a TV, you're talking to the people out there. Where is Brody today?
I'm at the aquarium in the seas.
At the waterfront aquarium?
Yes.
Ah. And what are you showing your old grandpa? You're showing him the sharks and the fish and
Magic tricks.
Sharks and magic tricks. All in one day.
I'll tell you a little bit about some of our turtles. This is Moya. You saw her x-ray on the wall. Moya had compaction, so she had basically lack of gut movement. She came from Plettenberg Bay, where she washed up. She was flown down to us. We named her Moya because she came to us via the air, the wind. Moya means air and wind in isiXhosa. And Moya is doing really well now. She's very responsive. She's about 5 years old maybe, we think. Very coy, very curious, and going to be released at the end of this year. This is Sandy. Sandy baby is a beautiful turtle. She came to us in 2016. She'd been hit by a boat, and she had 5 really deep wounds in her carapace, the shell. They were so close to her lungs. She miraculously didn't die from that. And Sandy was on stage 6 pain medication and dry docked for a good few months because she was doing really badly. And we were then able to help her sort of clean out that wound and recover slowly. And over the last 2 years, she has healed herself. So she's been growing fresh tissue and fresh bone, and her shell is hardening again, and she's going to be tagged and released at the end of this year. Sandy's a really feisty female. She's very determined when she swims around. She knows what she wants, and she is a real babe of a turtle. They all have very distinct personalities. It's really nice because they're here for quite long. You really get to know them quite well. What? Look at these funny little tails. Come back. Oh, look. Hello. Oh, this one's got his mouth open.
What is that?
I don't know.
Boy, look at the fish.
Oh, yeah. That's all. The worst is you're going to get wet. I'm not going to get wet. This is nice.
Touch the turtle a little bit quickly. Yeah, touch it and try and look at it at the same time. There you go. One more.
Oh, now I see the mountain.
Ethan Noble, and I am the conservation coordinator at the Two Oceans Aquarium.
I'm really hungry.
Are you?
We were just now. We're looking down.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to.
This is where...
Oh, they're back to
There's
feed.
the turtle that we saw just now.
I saw them dropping the feed over the top. So they're going to feed soon.
Wow. Amazing, huh? Hey, bro?
12 o'clock. What is the time now? In 4 minutes time. Okay, they'll be feeding in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Want to see what is in his money bags? And if you want to know what we're feeding our sharks, you need changes mainly from squid, known as calamari, at times cake, at times a red plate. Fish are, look at that move. That's super, eh? Put your legs up through the surface. Just going to chill. You'll come back soon. There is diving down. Now, on the menu today, you got the egg. You can see it's breaking egg to suit the small fishes. Now, while the turtles are here, I was about to ask who saw turtles here, but we can see them. 2 of them at this moment, but the third one coming joining the party. We have 4 turtles in this tank, and out of 4, 3 of them are green turtles. There's the name, green turtles. Green turtles are called green turtles because they eat green plants, and that invades their fats with green, and they got the name green turtles. And we have 1 loggerhead turtle. She arrived on a Sunday. Cross her name, Loki, or Otawa. And the 3 green turtles are Sandy, Bob, and Moya as Ed. And all our turtles came in here very sick. Some of them were injured. Now you wonder why our turtles came into the aquarium sick. It is because of the sick oceans. How does the ocean look like when it's sick? Yeah. We investigated further, performing CAT scans and a full image here of Bob skeleton. That's Bob skeleton. And all of them couldn't answer our question as to why we were turtle sick until one morning when the turtle team came on duty. They found that choose this instead of that ocean will be cage here. We start with a turn. Please be patient with me. I've only managed to find Notawe's image there. Notawe came with that pet shell with a lot of barnacles, and those barnacles were putting in her shell. Images in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please say hashtag masking Moscow.
Right.
Can you do that?
Smiling at you, look. Look, smiling at you.
Sorry. Somebody smells like jumbo. Somebody smells like jumbo. Somebody smells like jumbo.
Penguin exhibit, them at 2, then at the egg supper, and
We're in. Ready.
You like the tunnel, babe?
Yeah. Look at Grumpy do thing.
There's an old fish. There's an old turtle right there. No, it's not. There's a grandpa fish.
Grandpa fish. Grandpa.
Hey? You see the grandpa fish? Come, Brad.
There's another one.
Let's see if we can see the shark. Right?
Yeah, Mom.
This guy's real, huh? That's hectic. That's hectic. So then,
Rhodes. Brody, look around here and tell me what you see in front of you there. The mountain and the stingrays and the. Tell me what you see.
That's Table Mountain and Lion's Head and a lot of stingrays. And stingrays.
That one's place looks like a dolphin.
it's the,
Look at his nose.
Oh, you did it. Give me a
You must go down. Down.
Go back a bit.
shark. All the fish are scared of him.
Yeah, bump your head.
Wow. Awesome, guys. And it looks like it's.
Pick me up, let's follow.
Should we follow?
Yes.
Oh, look here, Brad. We're swimming on the roof.
Hurry.
Wow.
Eat. Bye, shark. I found another shark.
I think
I
there's
found
a tube.
another shark. That's another one.
Stand up.
There's a big guy coming here now.
Ooh, here's the big
Look at this.
That thing there.
Look at him above you. Look. You say?
Hey,
Wow.
don't drop me.
Wow. Yeah, let's go get something to eat.
Yes, I'm really.
They fell off and now grabbed themselves.
No.
Look at this.
Why would they kill my chickens when you chick?
Well, about toast shark again.
Look at this guy. And look at this guy right here.
Look at this guy, right? What? Looks like a monster.
Look at this big one. Brody, look at this big one coming here. Watch here. Brody, watch this big one. Watch this big one here. Big son of this.